I've just done some research on jackdaws and egg collecting, and I did time lapse it, but the GoPro that I use for time lapses keeps on glitching and turning off, so it didn't actually record anything, unfortunately. I'm gonna have a buttermint tea. This is one of my favourites. It kind of tastes like a mint humbug. It's very unique. It's butterscotch and peppermint. And also my mug is a Scottish Highlands one. Blakeney got it for me for Christmas, and it's just so beautiful. I love that you can see the heather in the background here, and then you've got this vast loch, and I'm pretty sure that's Dunenfell Castle. I'm sure I went to this castle with my mum. I might be wrong, but beautiful. So I ended up editing a scene instead of handwriting that one, and now I'm going to do the handwritten thing. But I'm going to use, this is a new kind of habit that I've got into when I'm handwriting sections of my book. So I'm going to get changed into this dress. It's from Linen Naive, and I bought it a few months ago and it arrived this week, and it's basically identical to the dress that I imagined my main character wearing as I was writing. And so when I'm wearing this dress, it really helps me get into character, and so I'm thinking of this as my writing dress. So this is the dress on. I love the puffed sleeves so much. If you've read Little Women, you'll know about Jo's writing jacket, and there's a specific jacket that she wears when she's writing, and then it gets her in the mood to write. I'm sorry, I did get a little bit mixed up there. In the Greta Gerwig film, she wears a writing jacket, and in the book she has her writing suit and her writing hat. This is the specific passage which I will read to you. Every few weeks she would shut herself up in her room, put on her scribbling suit and fall into a vortex, as she expressed it, writing away at her novel with all her heart and soul. But till that was finished she could find no peace. Her scribbling suit consisted of a black woolen pinafore on which she could wipe her pen at will, and a cap of the same material, adorned with a cheerful red bow, into which she bundled her hair when the decks cleared for action. This cap was a beacon to the inquiring eyes of her family, who during those periods kept their distance, merely popping in their heads semi-occasionally to ask with interest, "Does genius burn, Jo?" They did not always venture even to ask this question, but took an observation of the cap and judged accordingly. If this expressive article of dress was drawn low upon the forehead, it was a sign that hard work was going on. In exciting moments it was pushed rakishly askew, and when despair seized the author it was plucked wholly off and cast upon the floor. At such times the intruder silently withdrew, and not until the red bow was seen gaily erect upon the gifted brow did anyone dare address Jo. It's a method that I've tried before. I have this jacket that looks a bit like the one in the Greta Gerwig Little Women film, and I tried wearing this jacket when I was writing to see if it worked. I can really see it working really well if you did it over a sustained period, like associating an item of clothing with writing a particular project. And so already that's happened with this dress, even though I've only worn it for the last 3 days when writing. So my book is set in the Victorian period. It's set in 1876. I do need a candlestick as well. This is the notebook that I'm using at the moment. I started it last week, I think 10 days ago, and I'm on page 52 of this one. I am going to leave it there for writing for now. I've written the scene, but it's really falling flat. Like, the beginning of it kind of works. I've rewritten the scene like 3 times now, and I just can't make it work. it should be quite an exciting scene, but it just feels very boring. I don't know, I'm not even excited by it when I'm writing it, and that's a very bad sign. I think I need to think, I want to have a think. Sometimes, with this actually, I don't know where I got this piece of advice, but sometimes if you're really stuck with something, think of all of the different ways that that scene could go, and just like try writing different versions, because I've rewritten it a number of times, but I've kept it the same, and maybe that's the problem. So I might actually, as a last task, get a post-it note and just write down some different options of where the scene could go, and kind of think of like the most dramatic thing that could possibly happen, or I mean, I don't want it to be a dramatic scene, that's the thing, like I don't want it to be too plot heavy, but it just needs options, because at the moment it's not very good. I'm cutting to a little bit later. I changed out of the dress and into something else because I was filming a few videos, so I changed outfits for each of those. This is then in the afternoon where I had another block of writing. This notebook here is for research and for plotting. It's kind of a cross between a research book and a journal, because as I'm doing research, I will be journaling about how that could possibly relate to the plot and how it can be integrated. And it's honestly so helpful. It's like having a second brain. It's like a commonplace book for my novel. And if you are writing any sort of extended project, I would definitely recommend keeping one of these. And then even though technically at the moment I'm focusing on doing a full handwritten draft of my book, sometimes a scene pops up where I just want to type it, and that's what happened today. So I was typing this scene. When I looked up at the sky and saw those swifts all those years ago, I didn't just see some noisy birds. I saw an impossible 4,000-mile journey. I saw 1,000 individual miracles soaring above my head. I tried to imagine where they were going, where they had been, and how many would make it back to these shores next summer. It grounded me in place and in season, and I can't tell you how reassuring a feeling that is. It was nearing the end of summer and the swifts were returning, and the noise they made, far from being an annoying distraction, those screams and squeals transported me to a long-forgotten place in my past. And in a more present way, they gave me pause to anticipate my own future adventures, my own life's odyssey. I'm going to start writing a new Agatha letter. I won't finish it today because each one takes 2 mornings. I like to bullet point it and then I read it the next day and edit it. But the writing part is always the most exciting part. I actually write them directly into Substack as well, as opposed to doing it on a different platform, which is actually probably not the most sensible thing, but I love this. This is all of them so far, and then I've got like 3 drafted, and I'll post one this morning too. There we go, letter 25 has just gone live. This is it, and Chris's extraordinary illustrations. Oh my goodness, I genuinely cannot get over them. Look! I'm rather enjoying my time at sea, and have found it actually remarkably convenient to be surrounded by vast bodies of salted water. Whenever your soup is not properly seasoned, you need only fill up a vial with seawater and pour it artfully on top. I believe I may start doing all of my cooking at sea. I've posted an Agatha letter and I've drafted the next one, which I'll edit tomorrow. And I'm still loving doing them so much, and if you like absurdity and you want to read them, then I will leave it linked down below. It's completely free, it's not like a paid Substack or anything. The next thing I'm going to do is write for my novel. I'm trying to write at least 1 chapter every day, and I'm handwriting at the moment. Some parts I am typing though, like there have been a few scenes where I've just really not wanted to handwrite them. It's so bright today. I mean, it's so pretty, but like, it's so bright. This is the paper Republic I use for all of my writing, and this one is the most recent one. I'm on page 86 of this one. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a flashcard that I'm referring to while I'm writing, and that's because for each part I do the plotting, like a very skeletal plot, on a flashcard, which I can then refer to when I'm writing each scene, and it kind of helps me to keep track of the plot and what has happened, what hasn't happened, But then at 10 I had to pull myself away because my first video on my new YouTube channel was going live. I was actually so nervous about this, also excited of course. This is the very first video on my new channel. I'm really nervous about starting this new channel, honestly. I'm still going to be posting on my main channel, but it will be helpful for separating educational content from lifestyle content, because when I post educational content on my main channel, even though I love doing it, it only ever kind of performs well when it's integrated within lifestyle content, and I really like the idea of having a separate place for educational videos so that I can share all of that stuff. If there is anything around literary history that you want to learn or you've kind of been interested to learn about, then please do tell me, like leave a comment and then I can make a video about it on this channel. I often get people asking me to like explain some aspect of literature or history, and yes, if there is anything specific then please do say.
Process, and if all books are having to be printed like that, and paper is the most expensive part of the book, books still are pricey, and there still is a reason to chain them to shelves.
Lola! Oh, the sky is so blue. Also, I got new shoes and I am obsessed with them. They are just the most unique shoes I've ever seen. I'm gonna get some tea. I don't know what kind of tea. Oh, you're so cute! I actually think I'm gonna be really boring. I wanted to have like a unique tea. I might have a unique tea later. This is buttermint tea. It's actually amazing. It's butterscotch and peppermint. I'm currently just uploading the next 3 videos. We've got this one on Mary Sidney Herbert, who is one of my favourite early modern writers, history of ethical and reed pens, and then a history of book jackets. And it's now midday, so I'm actually, or 12:30 even, so I'm gonna go and get some lunch. This morning went really quickly. It took quite a while. It took me about an hour just then to like do the final checks on all of these videos and edit thumbnails and set them to upload, but I'm really glad that that's done so I don't have to like think about it for the next week. So I'm gonna get lunch. I also wanted to show you this very quickly. The new tote bags for pumpkin productivity. This illustration is by the amazing Jenny Elwyn, and it's an organic tote bag. They're gonna be £5 on the website. Just as part of this video, I wanted to share a few things that I've been using to minimise digital distraction recently. In mid-January, I found myself falling into those like doom scrolling spaces, and obviously you never feel good when you're spending loads of time scrolling on social media. First, I literally delete the app of TikTok off my phone when I find myself getting obsessed with it and clicking on it too much. But like, you go for TikTok when you're looking for something easy to do and when you want that distraction, and as soon as there's a barrier in the way of using it, you just don't use it. So even though I knew that I could just download it, it's such a faff that you don't end up doing it. So it kind of helps to break the pattern and the habit of clicking into TikTok when you're bored or when you don't know what to do. The second thing is this little thing. It's a brick, and this was kindly sent to me for review. I've been using this little thing now for 8 months and it's so helpful. So every evening I brick my phone. I will show you how this works. If we go here, we go on brick, and then you press here and you scan. And now, whenever I try to click into Instagram or TikTok, it tells me this is a distraction, and it physically won't let me on the app. And I love this because the idea is that it turns your phone into a brick phone, and so you can restrict the number of uses that it has. So every night I scan this before going to bed, and it means that in the morning I can't check my phone. And again, like with the first thing, it just makes it inconvenient to go on distracting apps. The third thing I came across 2 months ago, and I am just obsessed with this, and I feel like I can't not tell you about it because it's just too cool. So I've got it on my iPad. You can also get it on your phone, and I think on your laptop. It's called Focus Flight. So essentially, It's a flight simulator. It's a bit like Forest where you can set a timer. You can leave the app, so it's not going to stop you, but I don't know what it is, but it really does make me feel focused. I set one of these and it's so satisfying. So basically you have this map, so we can start a journey and then you can choose between these. So these are all 30-minute ones, but you can go for an hour, you can go really, really far. You can go for like a 5-hour flight is the longest on the free version. Let's say you want to do an hour-long study session. Leon, book my flight. Work. This is the journey. There are also some background noises you can choose from. Ocean. I can't even say why this is so effective. It's a good way to get yourself to sit down and do a piece of work because there's a novelty to it. I would really recommend trying this. It's a free app, but I had to tell you because I've been using it so much and it's so satisfying to kind of like travel virtually between all of these places. Anyway, I'm actually going to do some work on an article now, and I will be using my Leon timer as I do it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. It was a little bit all over the place, and I didn't realise how all over the place it was until I started editing, but I still hope that you enjoyed watching. I hope you're having a lovely February, and I hope that you have more than just a productive week.